How can we go about identifying insider cyber threats? I'm Mike Loader. Ending Cyber Risk starts now. Hello everyone and welcome back to Ending Cyber Risk, presented by the team at Arctic Wolf, where each episode we unpack the ways we can put an end to risky cyber behaviour. Now on this episode we dive into the risk mitigation tactics that involve cyber attacks on the inside. And joining me now is Manglicmot, Senior VP Security Services at Arctic Wolf. It's wonderful to have you with me. What is an insider threat? Is this like a mole or an infiltrator, or take us through what it is?
Yeah, that's one type of example there, but the definition of an insider threat is somebody who already has authorized access into the environment, who does something to harm that environment or that company. And the folks who could have that authorized access could be an employee, it could be a contractor, it could be somebody who is masquerading as that type of employee in there. And what they're doing is using legitimate access to gain further access to things that they shouldn't have. Okay. And what they can do is a lot of damage when these happen.
I'll bet they can. It's starting to feel a little bit like espionage now, but why are they so difficult to mitigate? And I guess what's a game plan against these guys when it comes to security perspectives? Take us through a bit more.
Yeah, this has been a threat for a long time, but it's becoming more and more difficult to manage. In fact, we're seeing 50% of large companies building out an insider threat program, which is up from just 10% in 2023.
Okay, so there's an awareness now. Yeah, interesting.
Absolutely. And with the big movement to bring your own devices to work, which happened during COVID and all these things, and things becoming more disparate and work from home, SaaS tools and things like that, it's much more difficult to catch these because, like I said, they're using legitimate tools, legitimate access. So the behaviors for that security operations center look normal. Until it gets to the very end of that kind of attack or whatever they're trying to do, it just looks like standard network behavior.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what are some of the steps that security leaders can take to guard against this kind of thing. I mean, is there a vetting process when it comes to employees or giving out access and key cards and whatnot? It sounds really complicated.
So there's, like I mentioned, there's those that are nefarious trying to do something wrong, but there's also those users who make a mistake, and so something happens at that point that damages the company. So there's two different types of insider threats. There's malicious and then just they don't know better.
Like a phishing email or something like
exactly.
that?
Exactly. So the two things you can focus on, one is a security awareness training program. Users need to know how to recognize if they are at risk of becoming an insider threat by somebody else manipulating them. And then the second thing is privileged access management technologies. So those that have elevated access into the network, like administrators, you should still monitor what they're doing. Administrators should not have the keys to the whole kingdom. You need to make sure that each user has specific privileges that they have, and those are the two things you should focus on.
Those are really good points to make, especially if you're engaging in a new business or you're building this stuff for the ground up or incorporating more cybersecurity, as a lot of businesses are. How should security awareness training be offered? I suppose education seems to be a big part of the sector. People either rejecting it or going, oh, it's not too important, until it's too late.
Yeah, we've seen a big change over the last year or two of this. Traditional security awareness programs are somebody gets on stage, lectures you for an hour, once a year, you're tuned out, you're playing on your phone, right? And you immediately forget everything. And then you gain nothing out of it. Yeah. And what we've seen them pivoting to is more of a micro-learning session where it's something that's more pushed to the employee in their email. It's maybe a 2 or 3 minute video. It's delivered every other week. And it's just reinforcing those good behaviors that users should have.
Okay, I'm curious to know some of the challenges that organizations face, just off the top of my head, when it comes to actually delivering education in a good way and, creating, I guess, good cyber hygiene.
Yeah, I think you need to, again, this is where I think partnering with other companies that specialize in this. You can try to go at your own if you're a smaller company, but as you move up into that mid-market or larger size, you're going to need to have some specialized training there.
You become a more valuable target, right?
Absolutely, and so you need to make sure you're investing in these programs as well. And it's not just telling users what to do, it's also evaluating and testing them as well through phishing exercises and things like that.
Okay, very well said. Is there anything you want to say to people out there or organizations just to finish the program for us when it comes to enacting these steps, just before I let you go?
Yeah, it's important to do something. And so even if you don't think you could do a really robust program, it's important to take that first step.
I think that's really good said. Well said by you. And of course, I look forward to speaking to you again down the track, Mark. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in. Hopefully you've learned something from our discussion. This is Ticker. We'll be right back in just a moment.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.